Welcome to Let's Talk, where I address one topical or current issue affecting Jamaica, placing it under the microscope while assessing and evaluating the pros and cons of said issue. The topic for this episode is the state of public emergency. So, let's talk, shall we?
Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
First, a little bit of background. On the 14th of January 2018, the first state of public emergency was declared in the parish of St. James, following a bloody 2017 that saw a total of 335 people being murdered in the parish. The SOE ran in conjunction with a zone of special operation that was previously declared in the Mount Salem community. These security measures resulted in a 70% decrease in murders in the parish. In March of the same year, a second state of emergency was declared in the St. Catherine North Police Division, which also resulted in a decline in serious crimes, though not at the level that was seen in St. James. In September of 2018, a third state of emergency was declared for sections of the corporate area. And just like the two previous SOEs, there was also a reduction in major crimes in the area under which the state of emergency fell. Despite the fact that the SOE are short-term measures, the results are undeniable. And as such, one would think that there would have been support for an extension. However, the opposition People's National Party had other ideas, as they withdrew their support from the three active SOEs, citing issues like human rights violation, the lack of a proper or long-term crime plan from the government. They also pointed out that having SOEs running for so long is simply unconstitutional. As a result of this, the SOE ran their course and ended. Now, fast track to today, Tuesday, April 30, where another state of emergency was declared by Prime Minister Andrew Holness for the western parishes of St. James, Hanover, and Westmoreland. And credit to the People's National Party, who, in their response, through party president Dr. Peter Phillips, stated that based on the situation currently facing the western parishes, a national response was needed, and he has no problems supporting such. However, he remains strident that he's waiting for the government to detail and outline a long-term crime plan. Now, as it relates to anything that affects Jamaica, there will be divergent views, and persons will be in support of, while persons will be against it. And for the records, let me say that I was one of the persons who was most disappointed when the opposition People's National Party decided to withdraw their support from the state of emergencies. And though there were valued concerns and issues that needed to have been treated with immediately, I was of the opinion that the time for the SOE to come to an end was not reached. And yes, I know that persons will say, but teach, you were not among the disenfranchised. You were not among those detained for an extended period of time. You were not among those who lost their jobs. You were not among those who lost employment opportunities. You were not among those whose business suffered because of early closure. And those persons would be correct. And no, I was not among any of that demographics. However, I am among a set of Jamaicans who would be willing to sacrifice something now for the greater good. I want those persons to tell me who or where in this world has anything good happen without persons sacrificing? Which country has moved from developing to becoming a developed state without sacrificing for the greater good? And yes, again, many persons will say, but teach, you can sit and talk, because you're alright. But no, I cannot be alright when I live in a country where no one is safe. I cannot be alright when I live in a country where criminals have become emboldened and brazen. I cannot be alright when I live in a country where my movements have to be calculated and or restrained because of criminality. No, I cannot be alright when I live in a country where children and women are being raped and murdered. So, persons would be correct in saying I was not directly affected by the state of emergency. However, it is within my rights as a citizen of this country to state that the ending of the three previous SOEs were simply premature. And I will not sit here and pretend that they were not issues. Human rights issues, constitutional issues, excessive use of force issues. And yes, I know that innocent persons were caught up in the SOE. And the reality is that it is dangerous to presume guilt by association. But I suppose we can go to the old adage, show me a company and I tell you who you are. Many persons got caught up because of their circumstances. And the most vocal opposers of an SOE will tell you that a state of emergency cannot continue indefinitely. And I most definitely agree with that. And I will also definitely agree that a state of emergency is not a long-term crime solution. However, what then is a short-term solution? A SOE is a tool that is available to the government in order to fight crime. And we must not lose sight of the fact that in the declaration of a state of emergency, it is stated definitively that the security forces have extraordinary powers and the rights of some citizens may be suspended. Am I willing to have some of my rights suspended for the greater good of this country? Absolutely. And yes, there are persons who will speak about the long hours that police officers and military personnel have to serve on each shift. And yes, that is definitely a concern and should be looked into. And yes, the government definitely need a long-term crime solution for this country. But in the short term, and the results are there to show, that a state of emergency is one of the most effective tools in containing and stabilizing the crime situation. However, let me hasten to say that a state of emergency's effectiveness, in my opinion, is not just dependent on the percentage decrease in murders, but also how many illegal guns and rounds of ammunition are seized, how many known violence producers are detained, placed in front of the courts and convicted, how much social intervention is done, how much work is done at rebranding these communities, how much effort is placed in getting unattached youths to become productive members of their community and the society as a whole. So, an indefinite state of emergency? Absolutely not. Is a state of emergency an effective tool in trying to fight crime and criminality? Definitely. Do we need a long-term national crime plan? Absolutely. Are there inconveniences for our citizens as a result of a SOE? Definitely. Will the SOE result in disruption and dislocation of criminal elements, and some of them may migrate to other parishes, increasing the crime in those areas? Definitely. However, the first step in achieving anything in life is to create disruption. And the SOE is not a magic wand. The crime situation in many of these areas is decades old, and a 14 days or 3 months SOE cannot realistically solve the problems in these areas. And as such, patience should be exercised. Instead of criticizing and opposing, why can't we not support, unite in this fight against the monster of crime currently gripping Jamaica land we love?
Teach them! Hey, yo, hello! Send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them. Right here, Warlord representing.
Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment below. Remember to like and share the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content. Follow me on social media and check out the suggested videos on screen. This is Teach saying, until next time, walk good, my friends.